What happens when America's sweetheart finally reaches her limit on live television? You're about to witness one of the most talked-about moments in morning show history as Kelly Clarkson faces off with Jenna Bush Hager in an exchange that spirals completely out of control. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and share your thoughts below on celebrity interviews gone wrong. The morning began like any other on the Today Show set. Kelly Clarkson was there to promote her latest album and tour dates. The studio buzzed with excitement as cameras rolled, ready for another upbeat segment. Jenna Bush Hager, smiling brightly, welcomed her guest. "We're back with the amazing Kelly Clarkson," she said warmly. "Kelly, it's wonderful to have you here. Your new album is taking off and fans can't get enough of it." Kelly smiled politely. "Thank you for having me, Jenna. It's always nice to be here." Jenna leaned forward, her tone still friendly. "There's been some talk about your personal life lately. How do you manage being such a force in music while facing, let's say, personal challenges?" The question hung in the air. Kelly's smile faded slightly, and viewers could sense the tension rise. She hadn't come to discuss her private life. "I'm here to talk about my album," Kelly replied, her voice calm but edged. "The music speaks for itself, and that's what I'd like to focus on today." Jenna nodded but didn't drop the topic. "Of course. But Kelly, your fans connect with your honesty. Isn't it important to share those experiences?" Kelly's jaw tightened. The light suddenly felt hotter. "My honesty comes through my songs," she said firmly. "When I write and perform, that's when I'm most genuine. I don't need to expose my private life on TV to prove that." The atmosphere changed. Producers in the control room exchanged uneasy glances. What was meant to be a friendly chat was turning tense fast. Jenna pressed on anyway. "But you've been open before about your divorce and your journey as a single mom. Don't you think your fans deserve to know how you're really doing?" That was the turning point. Kelly's eyes flashed. "Deserve to know?" she repeated. "My fans deserve great music. They don't deserve to have my pain turned into entertainment." Jenna looked surprised but didn't back down. "I think you're being a little defensive, Kelly. This is just conversation." "Conversation?" Kelly's voice rose. "This feels like an interrogation. I came here to promote my album, not to be psychoanalyzed on live TV." The studio fell silent except for the hum of cameras. Even crew members froze. Jenna's co-hosts shifted awkwardly. "Kelly, you're overreacting," Jenna said sharply. "We ask questions, you answer. That's how this works." Kelly stood up, her mic giving off a brief screech. "That's how this works?" she repeated. "Let me tell you how this really works, Jenna. You sit in your safe bubble, asking invasive questions about people's worst moments and call it journalism. You think pointing a camera at me gives you the right to every piece of my soul?" The words hit hard. Jenna leaned back, startled. Kelly wasn't the calm guest who had walked in minutes ago. She was someone who'd had enough. "Kelly, please sit down," Jenna said nervously. "We're live." "Oh, I know we're live," Kelly shot back. "That's why you thought you could ambush me. You figured I'd smile and play along because the cameras are rolling." The control room was in chaos. Some producers wanted to cut to commercial. Others said to keep rolling. Jenna's co-host tried to step in. "Maybe we should take a moment." "Don't," Kelly cut him off. "Don't try to smooth this over. Jenna just spent 5 minutes exploiting my personal life for ratings." "I was doing my job," Jenna said, her face flushed. "I asked the questions our viewers want answered." "Your viewers?" Kelly laughed bitterly. "You mean the ones who enjoy watching people fall apart? The ones who love to see women torn down?" "That's not fair," Jenna protested. "I ask real questions because that's what journalism requires." "Real journalism?" Kelly said quietly, her voice sharp. "Real journalism would mean researching my work, understanding my music, maybe even listening to the album you claim to be promoting. Instead, you chose gossip." The air was thick with silence. Camera operators didn't dare stop filming. The audience sat frozen. "Kelly, you're being unprofessional," Jenna said. "Our viewers deserve better than this outburst." Kelly's eyes narrowed. "Unprofessional? I've been in this business for 2 decades. I've won Grammys. I've worked hard for everything I have. And you think you can lecture me about professionalism from that chair?" Jenna stammered. "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to," Kelly said sharply. "Every question you asked tried to reduce me to my worst moments. You ignored my art just to dig into my pain. The co-host tried again. Ladies, maybe we can... Can what? Kelly interrupted. Pretend this is normal? Pretend it's okay for journalists to ambush their guests? Nobody attacked you, Jenna said defensively. I asked legitimate questions. Legitimate? Kelly's voice rose again. You asked me how I'm coping as if I'm some victim you can pity. That's not legitimate. That's manipulation. The studio was so still that every sound felt amplified. Jenna finally snapped. Maybe the problem isn't me, Kelly. Maybe it's that you can't handle honest questions. You always want control of the story. Kelly stared at her. You think those were honest questions? She said softly. An honest question would be, Kelly, your new album explores resilience. What inspired that? Or, what was your creative process? That's real conversation. Jenna shifted uneasy. Those are softball questions. People want substance. Substance? Kelly's laugh was cold. You think dragging someone's private pain on TV is substance? That's not journalism, Jenna. That's voyeurism disguised as news. The control room was frantic. Some wanted to cut away. Others whispered that this was the biggest live moment they'd ever captured. Jenna's face turned red. Every celebrity gets asked about their personal life. That's part of being famous, is it? Kelly shot back. Says who? The same system that profits off people's pain? I didn't sign up to be your emotional punching bag. You did, when you chose this line of work. That's how the industry works, Jenna said tightly. No, Jenna, Kelly replied coldly. That's how you've chosen to make it work. That's the toxic cycle you're feeding every time you call exploitation journalism. I'm not exploiting anyone, Jenna said weakly. Your job is supposed to inform and inspire, Kelly said. Instead, you use your platform to pick at people's wounds. Jenna stood up, angry now. How dare you talk to me like that? I've been professional. Professional? Kelly snapped. You call ambushing guests with personal questions professional? Ignoring why I'm here, professional? Turning an interview into a therapy session. Professional? One of the co-hosts tried to redirect. Maybe we can talk about the tour. Don't, Kelly said. The damage is done. The only damage, Jenna said through clenched teeth, is what you've done to this interview. Kelly's eyes hardened. I'm defending myself against manipulation. If that's a tantrum, then maybe check your own standards. I didn't manipulate anyone, Jenna muttered. Then why ignore every topic my publicist sent you? Kelly asked. Why not ask about my music? Every question you asked was designed to make me emotional on camera. Jenna stayed silent. Kelly nodded slowly. Exactly. You were hoping for a breakdown, weren't you? Something dramatic for ratings. That's not true, Jenna said, but her voice was shaky. The sad thing is, Kelly continued, you're smart, Jenna. You could use your platform to lift people up. Instead, you add to the problem. Jenna looked shaken. I never meant, it doesn't matter what you meant, Kelly interrupted. What matters is what you did. You turned a celebration of art into an attack on a person. Kelly unclipped her mic and set it down gently. I'm done here. The studio was dead silent. Jenna stared at the mic, realizing Kelly wasn't bluffing. You can't walk out. We're live! Watch me, Kelly said. She turned to leave, then looked back once more. I hope someday you learn the difference between being a journalist and being a predator. Jenna's face went pale. Kelly walked off the set as cameras followed her every move. Kelly, please, Jenna called. Can we talk like adults? Kelly didn't turn around. Adults respect boundaries. They don't ambush people and call it connection. I was trying to connect, Jenna said weakly. Connect, Kelly turned back. Making me relive painful experiences isn't connection. Ignoring my music isn't connection. It's exploitation. Jenna had no response. The entire room watched silently. Kelly shook her head. You did this because drama sells, because it's easier than real journalism. I do understand your work, Jenna said, but Kelly stopped her. No, you don't. If you did, you'd ask about the creative process, the messages in my songs, or my band's experiences, not my trauma. Her voice was calm but full of power. Kelly, you're overreacting, Jenna said one last time. If this is normal, Kelly replied, then the whole system is broken. She turned toward the exit. I'm going where people care about art, not drama. Before leaving, she faced the camera. To anyone in media watching, remember this. The people you interview are human beings. Treat them that way. Fame doesn't erase dignity. She looked at Jenna one last time. And you, Jenna, think about what kind of journalist you want to be. Because right now, you're not helping make the world better. With that, Kelly Clarkson walked off the Today Show set, leaving behind silence, shock, and a moment that would be replayed for years. What do you think? Was Kelly right to stand up for herself, or should she have handled it differently? Hit subscribe and share your thoughts below.